Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your cleaning business to six figures and beyond. Wow! So, I know a lot of you have decided or have thought about quitting your cleaning business. It's just too much work. You can't find contracts. You're spending money. You have the fear. You're just ready to give up. Well, before you do that, please look at this video. That way you may understand exactly what almost every cleaning business owner goes through. You ready? Let's go. First of all, there are like what we call four valleys of death. Four things when you have your highs, everything is going really great, and you have your lows. Your lows are what we call the valley of death. So let's talk about that just before you think about quitting. The first is when you get started and you find out there's more you have to do than what you thought. Maybe you don't have the money for your LLC, or the LLC is a little bit more challenging than you thought. Or maybe you realize that the name you wanted wasn't available. That's valley number one. Before you even get started, you're thinking of quitting because it requires more to get started than you thought. And then you continue on, you find the strength, you talk to someone, you look at a video, hopefully one of mine, and you realize, you know what, I've thought about it and I'm going to keep on going. So you go ahead, you save the money, you do whatever you need to do, and you go over the first valley and you get to the high. You get your first contract, you're really excited, everything looks good. So now you're on top, you've gotten through valley of death number one. Valley of death number two. You realize that you're tired. You've been doing all the cleaning. It's you. You are exhausted. You're starting to really think, is it worth it? Because I'm doing all the work. How will I ever be able to afford any employees? It's so challenging for me to do this all on my own. That's a valley of death number two. When you get to the realization that the money is great, but you're too tired, your feet are hurting, your legs are tired, your arms are tired, you're getting phone calls, and you're exhausted. So what do you do in the second? The second valley of death, you immediately try to add some type of extra services so you can add more profit margin to get more money before you're looking at turning in the towel. Do not give up. See if you can find someone, an employee that you can pay a little bit later if you don't have the money. Look to see if you can get one of your children or your cousins or someone to come along with you, so that way you're not doing this all on your own. So that's when we look at the valley of death number two. Stick with it. Do not give up. Stay the course. It will get better. So now let's say you get through the valley of death number one and the valley of death number two. What is the valley of death number three? That's when you hire your first employee. You've gotten through, you increased your prices, or you added a service where you're able to get more margin. So then you were able to hire your first employee. So what does that look like? Well, now you've got to understand if you're good at training. You may be good at doing the cleaning yourself, but are you good at training someone to be able to perform the services well enough so that way you're able to keep the account? You're doing well. You think you are. You're training them, and then all of a sudden you get another account, you take yourself out, and you are getting complaints like you wouldn't believe. Complaint number one, complaint number two. Now they're different than when they were complaining when it was just you. They may be complaining because they maybe wanted something else done, like wanted to add additional services, but they're not really complaining about the cleaning as they are now that you have that new employee. So you realize you're not as good at the training as you thought you were. You're getting complaints, and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to go back to doing it myself. But you know that vicious cycle. If you do it yourself, you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to be tired, and you're not going to be able to continue. So what do you do when you're hiring your first employee? You're ready to give up. Trust me and understand, we've all been there. The cycle of wanting to do the business, but then you know that you can't do it all on your own, and you're having to hire your first employee, and you realize you're not good at the training. So what do? You start training. You get in there, you make sure you have your checklist, you have everything written down that you promised the client that you would deliver. You put it on a simple Word document if you have to, if you don't have time to do it the way with the admin and all that. Put it together, where they're following everything every day, step by step by step. Stay with them if possible until they get up and going. But whatever you do, do not give up when you're in the valley of death, number 3, when it comes to your hiring your first employee and you're just exhausted. Now you're riding that high. You've got your first employee. You then go on to get your second employee, your third employee. Everything's looking good. You're moving along. And then you get to number 4. And number 4 is when you look like you're going to run out of money. You're getting ready to run out of money. You've got these employees. You're petrified that you've got to be payroll. Payroll is like just like staring you in your face, and you don't know what you're going to do. So what do you do in number 4? Well, number 4, what I would suggest you do is try your best to give them something for getting you paid sooner. Maybe you can give them a discount, or you can do invoice factoring if possible. There's a lot of invoice factoring companies out there, but be very, very careful because they will ask you to give them a pint of blood for a little bit of money they're going to give you. So be very, very careful when you feel like you're running out of money. Everything's going well. You've got the accounts. You're just needing so much equipment. You didn't realize you're going to win that many accounts and you're going to need that many employees. But stick with it. 4 does come and go. Just stay the course. Try your best, like I said, to find ways to get the money in. If you have to use subcontractors instead of your employees, they may end up allowing you to pay them a little bit later. But whatever you do, just remember this. You're going to go through peaks and lows, valleys and lows. That's the course of doing business. When you're going from a self-employed person to a CEO, a 6-figure CEO, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. First, it's going to be getting started, harder than you thought when it comes to getting all the paperwork, the insurance, the bonding, the certs, everything you think you need. Then it's going to be when you're getting burnout, you're just exhausted. Then it's going to be when you have to hire your first employee. Can you really train your first employees? Can you find them? And then the 4th thing is going to be when you feel as if you're running out of money because you've got so many balls in the air. Each one of these, I guarantee you, if you were to talk to anyone that's gone past 2 years and they're really doing the darn thing, they will tell you, yes, they've probably been through all of these and going on to number 4, number 5, number 6. Every time you grow, there's going to be a growth pain. You're going to have to go through some learning, but always, always remember your big why. Why are you doing it? What is your story? What's your purpose? There are so many companies that sound the same when it comes to, like what are they providing? What kind of service they're providing when it's cleaning? But the one thing that's going to can really kind of like stand you apart from all the rest of them is when you have a big compelling reason why. Your story. No one has a story like yours. No one. So because of that, that's going to make your business unique all on its own. So just remember your main reason why. Think of, like I said, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. Stay the course from when you first get started and you think it's harder than what it is. Just take your time, go through it, find out what your states require. Can't be that challenging. And then when you get burnt out, start thinking about taking extra days for resting. You may have to go to bed a little earlier. You may have to get up a little earlier, but do that. And then when it comes to hiring that first employee, it's going to be a little bit more challenging than you thought to get them to do what you want when it comes to following just the way you would. And then the 4th is when you feel like you're running out of money. We've all been there. So I look so forward to seeing you stay the course, learning more, and I'd love to see you at my masterclass where I go over all of the highs and the lows that we've all been through and how to get your mind thinking and being and becoming a 6-figure cleaning business boss. Look forward to seeing you there. Click the link in description. Space is limited. And until the next video, be safe and take care. Bye-bye.